Aloha everybody, it's Ryan Cahew. I'm a business attorney here in Honolulu, Hawaii, specifically Kaka'ako. I'm enjoying the last bit of sunlight of the day and the last day of November 2023. I can't believe the year flew by so fast. And unfortunately, one of my favorite alliterations, Nonprofit November, is over. So this is the last content for 2023. I still have my old content, and of course, I'll post things about nonprofits throughout the year because that's what I work on from time to time. But for 2023 Nonprofit November, this is the last post. And what are we talking today? I'm going to fuse two topics. I'm going to talk about the Corporate Transparency Act because it's coming up in 2024 on Jan 1, and nonprofits. So stay tuned. So today's post is about, does the Corporate Transparency Act, the new law that is coming into effect in January 1, 2024, enforced by the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, does it apply to nonprofits? So, attorney response, it depends. Why do I say that? You may have heard I was like, yeah, generally there's going to be exemptions and nonprofits likely will fall under them. But again, this gets a little bit more nuanced, and that is why in past posts and my presentations, I always have to explain to people that nonprofit does not mean tax exempt. So why am I getting all technical about the phrase tax exemption status or tax exempt status versus nonprofit? Well, if you work in this space, a lot of times what happens is that people come together, they file for a nonprofit corporation, but sometimes they fail to follow up if they have to apply for a tax exemption status. For instance, a lot of times for 501c3s and 501c4s, you have to ask the IRS to grant you that tax exemption status. So the thing is that if you have a nonprofit corporation but have failed to get granted the tax exemption status, then technically I would argue that the Corporate Transparency Act applies to you and you would have to follow the reporting requirement. However, if you are a tax-exempt entity, then you do not need to file the reporting requirement under the Corporate Transparency Act. I hope that clarifies why I said it depends if you're a nonprofit. I hope today's kind of post explains why it's important for anybody in a nonprofit space to understand there is the nonprofit part, not for profit, that is the existence of the entity doesn't profit anybody in terms of the organization, but there's the tax exemption part. People always conflate the two. And so whenever there is a new law, I think boards need to analyze, is this applying to the tax exemption status part, or is this applying to the existence of some type of nonprofit entity? Again, two different things. But when you fuse them together or try and assume they're together, this is where you run into problems. So again, for the Corporate Transparency Act, I do think nonprofit boards will have to analyze, do we have a tax exemption? Are we exempt from reporting? Again, I hope today's post helps, and this is the last of Nonprofit November. Enjoy the rest of your year. Bye.